Every single time I want to wear these glasses, you can see the light, but we're gonna go with it today. Just go with it. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Emily and I post a ton of bookish content on here for you guys. And if you are not new here, hello, welcome back. Happy to have you. So for today's video, we are doing another monthly wrap up and monthly TBR. May has almost completed and we are nearly halfway done 2022, which is insane. But I've had the best reading year of my life by far. I am already almost at my goal that I reached in 2021, which was 25 books, and I just reached 20 books and we're only in May. So very happy, very impressed with myself, very proud. And my goal for 2022 is 30 books, but I can definitely see myself reaching maybe 40. So good things all around. I feel like you guys know how these videos go. We're gonna start off with May's wrap up and then go into what I hope to read in June. So I'll go in order of what I read. I do not have the physical book for the first one that I read. I read it on my Kindle here, but it was Book Lovers by Emily Henry. Everyone has been freaking out about this book, and with good reason. I would say it was definitely a great book. I rated it a 4 out of 5. And if you're not aware of what the story is about, it is about this girl named Nora, who I believe is a literary agent, and people call her like the shark. Like, she's very uptight and doesn't care about people's feelings, that type of thing. She's very into her work, doesn't really care about anything else. And her sister, Libby, I believe, decides to take her on a trip to a small town. And it's funny because it's almost like making fun of those small town romance vibes, where her sister makes her this like super cliche list of things that she should do. So they go there, and when they get to this small town, they end up running into this editor named Charlie, and Charlie and Nora do not get along very well at first. However, you see where this is going. It was a really cute story. I really enjoyed the fact that this book revolved around books, as the title kind of talks about. It talks a lot about the publishing company and different processes when it comes to being a literary agent and an editor and all that stuff. Obviously it's not meant to be like an educational book, but it was still fun to learn the little things that go down in the industry. So that was really fun, and the romance was on point. There was just the right amount of smut, and it was nice because there was like different dimensions in the story as well. Like, we had a lot of family aspects, we had their relationship, there were lots of ups and downs, but overall it just felt like a genuine connection between the two characters. And I don't really know why I didn't give it a 5 out of 5. I think there was just something missing for me, but ultimately great book, awesome for summer, awesome for any time of the year, and I really recommend that you go pick that one up. The next book that I read was actually Lost in the Plot's May book club pick, and we decided to go with a classic this month. I was a little bit scared because I don't tend to gravitate towards classics, but we went with The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. Super small book. It was actually a pretty decent read. I think I gave it around a 3 out of 5. Like I said, I don't really gravitate towards classics, so I kind of knew I wasn't going to give this like more than a 4 maybe. But yeah, it ended up falling a little bit short at a 3 out of 5. And reason being is because honestly the writing confused me and I didn't really feel like it was going anywhere. So I had to end up watching the movie to truly understand what happens in the book. Unfortunately, now that I've watched the movie, I definitely liked it a lot more than the book, which is rare. But if you're not aware of what the story is about, it follows this man named Nick Calloway or Caraway or something like that, and he is the cousin to this woman named Daisy, who had a, I guess, relationship 5 years prior with Gatsby, Jay Gatsby. And Nick becomes Jay Gatsby's neighbor, so they're all kind of interconnected, and Gatsby wants to try and win Daisy back. And I know that there is a lot of different messages throughout the book. I don't want to spoil anything, but it was fine. I don't know, I haven't discussed it with the book club yet. We're doing that in a few days, but maybe I'll get a little bit more insight after the fact. But as of right now, I'm pretty neutral on this book. It was fine. The movie was much better to me. The next book that I read in May, once again, was on my trusty Kindle here, and that was The Perfect Marriage by Geneva Rose. 5 out of 5. It was such a good book. If you don't know what this book is about, I'm almost positive this was one of the very first like TikTok just like hyped up books, and I don't know why it took me so long to read it, because I love Geneva Rose. I think that she's so funny and so sweet, and I'm definitely going to be picking up the rest of her books, specifically The Girl I Was and her new one, As Good as Dead. So excited. As Good as Dead? One of Us is Dead. As Good as Dead is a different book. If you're not aware of what The Perfect Marriage is about, it is about this couple. I believe their names are Adam and Sarah. They are quote unquote the perfect couple. She is a super hardworking lawyer and he is a failing writer. They have had issues, but they've been together for like over 10 years or something like that. And as the story progresses, you learn that Adam has this lake house, or Sarah has the lake house. She's the only one who actually has money in the relationship. She buys this lake house for him to be able to write and try and, you know, clear his mind and get rid of writer's block, all that good stuff. And he decides to use it for that, but also to have an affair with his mistress named Kelly. There's so much I could say about this book. Essentially, Kelly ends up dying mysteriously in their lake house, and Adam is the very first suspect, with good reason, obviously, but there are a lot of twists and turns. Everything is not what you think, and overall, I think it's pretty evident Adam didn't do it. There's more to the story, but I really enjoyed the format of this book. It felt like almost like I was reading a Criminal Minds script or something like that. There was a lot of explanations, a lot of lawyer terms, which I really appreciated, and the ending, I literally was shaking. Like, anyone in this house can confirm with you that I was shaking. I had to read it out loud. It was just so suspenseful, so intense, and just please, like, go out of all of the books in this month, this is the one you need to read. So, The Perfect Marriage, Geneva Rose, 5 out of 5. Excellent book. So good. Such funny writing, such easily accessible writing for anyone, and creepy. Very creepy. So if you're in for a thriller, that is an excellent choice. And the last book that I read, which I just finished 2 days ago, was Set on You by Amy Lee. If you're not aware of who this author is, it's probably because she is a brand new author. She's from Canada. This was her debut book, and it's a weightlifting romance, which I was like, as soon as I heard about it, which I believe I heard about it like last year around September or so, I knew I wanted to read it, because I have never seen a romance that has to do with going to the gym, and it's an enemies to lovers based on like having a gym nemesis. So we follow our main character, Crystal. She's a curvy influencer. She's Asian. There's so many different things that are recognized in this book, which is just amazing. And our main guy character right there is based off of Chris Evans, but his name is Scott Ritchie. And they meet at the gym. He takes her favorite squat rack and basically just like bothers her to no end. And I feel like we all know, you know, when you're in kindergarten, you bother the person you like, and that's kind of what Scott was doing. But she doesn't really take it that way, and she really despises him. And then they find out that their grandparents are getting married, and everything changes at that point. She obviously realizes she needs to be nicer to him, and there's just like, there's so many different dimensions to the story. I will say there are a lot of trigger warnings for fat phobia, cyberbullying, cancer, so many different things that she does premise like before the book even starts. But this, I think, out of, like, if I had to compare book lovers to Set on You with regards to like how genuine their relationship is, I would say this book has an even greater and more intense connection between the two main characters. I could just really feel the love in this book. It's so good. It's so good. And it's funny, it's relatable, and as someone who does really like weightlifting, it was just refreshing to read a book about a curvy girl at the gym who doesn't give a shit about what other people say about her. Yeah. But it also shows like you don't need to love yourself all the time. There was so many really great lessons in this book. Like, once again, I can't explain all of it. I just really urge all of you to read it because it was a 5 out of 5 for me. So those were all the books that I read in May, and now we're gonna move on to the books that I am reading in June. So just yesterday, I started reading my first June read, which is It's Been a Pleasure, Noni Blake. This is one of my books that my friend recommended me, so it was one of the 12 books that one of my 12 friends recommended. One of those challenges that I just decided to hop on the bandwagon for, and so far I'm really enjoying it. It is definitely not what I was expecting, but at the very top of the back of the page, it does say, what if you made yourself your #1 priority? Of all the women and men Noni Blake has pleased in her life, there's one she's often overlooked, herself. After the end of a decade-long relationship, Noni decides it's time for that to change. She's finally going to prioritize her wants and desires and only do things and people that feel good in the moment. As she embarks on a pleasure-seeking quest that takes her halfway around the world, she discovers that maybe she can have everything and everyone she's ever wanted, and so on and so on. But it is a normal general fiction book. There's definitely some romance in it, and once again, with the curvy recognition, I love it. I love it so much. So I can't really say too much on this one yet, but so far it's enjoyable, and I can't wait to discuss it at the end of the month for June's wrap-up. The next book that I plan on reading, switching it up a little bit with another thriller, is The Minders by John Marrs. I have only read 2 of his books, and he is by far my favorite male thriller author. I just love the way he writes his books. If you guys don't know, The One is like one of my all-time favorite books, but Minders is a little different. It's definitely interesting, and it's about Big Brother. So it says, in the 21st century, information is king, but computers can be hacked and files can be broken into. So a unique government initiative has been born. 5 ordinary people have been selected to become Minders. Transformed by a revolutionary medical procedure, they are the latest weapon in thwarting cyber terrorism. The country's most classified information has been taken offline and turned into genetic code implanted inside their heads. Together, the 5 know every secret, the truth behind every government lie, conspiracy theory, and cover-up. In return, they're given the chance to leave their problems behind and a blank slate to start their lives anew. But not everyone should be trusted, especially when they each have secrets of their own that they'll do anything to protect. I've heard mixed reviews on this book, but I know that I've really loved his writing, and the premise of the book does sound interesting, so I'm looking forward to reviewing this for you guys. Once again, switching it up, I have a YA, I guess, romance? I think it's a romance, but it is a series YA, and it is The Selection by Kiera Cass. I bought this off Facebook Marketplace, the entire series, for like $20, and I don't know why, but I just wanted to know, because this was one of those books back in like the Hunger Games, Twilight days that would just like blew up. And all of the books are really cute if you put them all together. But this is the first one of the series, and if you're not aware of what this is about, it's almost like a Bachelor vibe where there is a prince and 35 women that he has to essentially choose from to become his princess. She does not want to be here. The main character's name is something really cringy. Oh yeah, America Singer. Love that. But it says, the opportunity to be swept up in a world of glittering gowns and priceless jewels, to live in a palace and compete for the heart of gorgeous Prince Maxon. But for America Singer, being selected is a nightmare. It means turning her back on her secret love with Aspen, who is a caste below her, and leaving her home to enter a fierce competition for a crown she doesn't want. Then America meets Prince Maxon. Gradually, she begins to realize that the life she's always dreamed of may not compare to a future she's never imagined. So I just think that this is going to be a really fast, easy read. And it's kind of nice that it's a series, because most of the series I own are more like fantasy for the most part. So having something more like romantic that I can continue the story on, hopefully if I enjoy it, fingers crossed, will be nice. So that is the 3rd book I hope to read. And the last book I'm sharing is actually the book club pick for June for Lost in the Plot, and it is Normal People by Sally Rooney. So I've had this book for a little while. It's been on my radar for literally ever, and I have not read it yet, guys. I know. and everyone keeps telling me that the show is really good, and I just didn't want to watch it until I actually read the book. So thankfully you guys voted for it this month, and I couldn't be happier. So if you're not aware of what Normal People is about, it says Connell and Marianne grew up in the same small town, but the similarities end there. At school, Cornell is popular and well-liked, while Marianne is a loner. But when the two strike up a conversation, awkward but electrifying, something life-changing happens. Normal People is the story of mutual fascination, friendship, and love. It takes us from that first conversation to the years beyond in the company of two people who try to stay apart but find that they can't. I know that Sally Rooney tends to have somewhat like, not controversial, but like very different plot lines from a lot of authors, and I know people either love or hate this. When it first came up on my radar, people were saying it was bad. Now everyone loves it, so I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna enjoy it, but I think I will. I have high hopes, and I really can't wait to watch the show. So that is Lost in the Plot's June pick, and I hope you guys are really excited to read it with me and discuss it at the end of June. Alright you guys, that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed hearing all of my thoughts on the books that I read in May, as well as all 4 books that I'm hoping to read in June. Do not forget to subscribe down below if you want to see more from me, and without further ado, I will see you guys next time. Bye!